interesting for the reader. So if I always see had credited, I start to think, well, that happened in the past, or that's something that I don't, that's something past, it's not really relevant. Whereas if I see that something happened in the past, and it's referred to as in the past tense, then I can understand its relevance. Do we understand that? Okay. The best way to deal with passive voice is to put your document through Grammarly. It will catch most of the passive voice issues, okay? And while I do great on APA, I'm not a strict disciplinarian about it, okay? I recognize that you're all learning it. I didn't learn it until I started my doctorate. When I got my MBA, APA wasn't really in existence. We used MLA, so. I don't want to tell you how old I am, okay? Because then I'd have to shoot you. Oh, I shouldn't say that since I'm on tape, aren't I?
Premeditated.
I'm sorry?
I was saying it was premeditated.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I also have to say sometimes I have a potty mouth. So if I...
You're recorded.
I apologize to you in advance, but I will try to watch it, okay. Another thing I saw was, so anthropomorphism. Anthropomorph, and I'm a bad speller too, so, okay? Does anybody know what anthropomorphism is? Okay. It is the act of attributing human-like characteristics to an inanimate object. Okay? So, when I see this paper illustrates. Can a paper illustrate?
No.
Why not?
It's a paper.
Right, it doesn't have the capacity to do it. The company said. Is this anthropomorphic? Yes?
Yes.
Why?
Company can't talk.
Company can't. Who can talk?
The vice president.
Or a manager, or an employee. In order to alleviate or mitigate issues with anthropomorphism, if you put a person or a another type of subject. So if I say the author of the paper illustrates the author is the subject here, okay? That way, the author can create action, right? The company managers of the company said. Managers is now the subject, okay? So we often use company in this way of referring to a thing or a subject or a place, and it's not interchangeable, okay? So the way to alleviate anthropomorphism is to just put a person or a thing like managers or author in there, okay? Bless you. Okay. avoid vague terms. Such as, it is, them, they, their. Restate the object. So, it's common to say, the issue regarding housing is problematic for lower income families or the issues. They will ... Who am I referring to when I say they?
Low-income families.
I could be referring to lower income families, right? I could also be referring to issues. So the reason why I want to restate the object is so I'm clear about who I'm referring to. Again, we are using a common language. It's like when you go to, how many of you have traveled to Europe? Okay? And how many of you have been like, I don't really know what they're saying, and you're pointing at the paper or you're speaking really slowly so they'll maybe understand you. It's because you don't have a common language, right? So it makes it more difficult. So if I'm your reader and I'm looking at what you're saying, I have to keep going back to say, are you talking about issues or are you talking about families? What does that do to your paper? It disrupts the flow, right? So you obviously want to make sure that your paper flows, okay? Now you can also download Grammarly as an extension for, for PCs, you can do it as an add-in or an add-on or whatever they're called. And it will do it right in your paper. And I also suggest you, and you can do it in your browser, and it will do it for your email. And it's, I mean, like, it will correct your spelling as your email goes, and it will tell you. It doesn't do passive voice for your emails per se, but it does correct certain things in email that normally doesn't get corrected. But it will do certain things, okay? So you can do extensions for it. Okay. This is the best water if you've never had it. It's like, it's gold.
What's it called?